Can you put this one on?
Be greedy. Pete, I brought my in-ears. Yes. I brought in-ears. Can we hook that
Hello,
up?
hello. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? Yo, before we start this, while the eloquent speakers were going on, I put a $100 bill in one of those boxes over there. So, you know, one of you is going to get a pleasant surprise.
I put a $1.4 trillion coin in one of those boxes.
No, he put a soiled condom in one of those boxes. So be careful, guys.
Good night, everybody. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you
Get
very
home
much.
safe.
Could you turn the
Look
lights
at the
on
time.
a little more? Could you give me a little spotlight? Do you need a spotlight?
Pete, I'll take some more kick up here.
Yeah. Sibilance. Oh, God, man, it's dark in here. Yeah. It's like, I forgot my readers. All right.
How's everybody doing? Where my Allentown people at? We got some Allentown people here?
Woo!
All right, don't worry. I'll speak slowly.
Oh, God.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez.
How you doing, Jenny? I'm good. I'm good. Yeah.
I think I'll turn my light on. You know, that's all right.
My name's Patrick. That's Scott. We're dear old friends of John from way, way, way back.
Way back.
Yeah.
Way back. Okay. Am I the only one? Here we go. Am I the only one that can still hear his loud, unruly laugh? His voice had a dynamic tone. It was booming like a young, honey-roasted Orson Welles. I remember at one time at a show during a very, very, very quiet moment, just like this. He said in his normal voice, "I have to use the restroom." And the audience quickly turned, and Jeff Tweedy was like totally fucking pissed.
John pissed off a fair amount of people with his writing, and Jeff Tweedy was one of them. And it got so bad, as some as you know, John was once escorted out of a Wilco show at Radio City Music Hall. I'm tangentially in show business. I was able to get word to Jeff Tweedy of John's passing, and Jeff Tweedy actually emailed me. Hang on. He said, "I'm very sorry to hear about John's passing. My heartfelt condolences to his family and friends. I'd still kick his ass out of my show, though."
You know that John could write a wicked, cool encapsulating description. Quote, "The Khyber is on 2nd Street, and sadly, the area is now a magnet for Prada-clad babes and oily-haired alpha males."
John lived on 2nd Street.
He did. He knew.
You live on 3rd? Math was never my strong suit. I went to Camden County College. Where did you go?
I went to
University of Oregon.
Yes, I did. Portland State, actually. He never bragged about interviewing any of his musical heroes, except that time at a giant European festival he covered. He was standing next to Nick Cave, side stage, and he elbowed Nick and he said, "I think that Neil Young kid is going places."
Wait for laugh.
Wait for laugh. Okay,
Waiting.
Now.
Okay.
Now. Go.
Pissing off people, pissing off the readers and the people he covered was a badge of honor to Valania. And the reason he pissed people off is because he told the truth, and the truth can be a hard pill to swallow for people. It didn't matter if he was writing about a politician or a high lit or Chubby Checker or Lou Blum, the tow truck king of Philly. John wrote an amazing story about Lou Blum. John simply wrote about what he saw and heard and what he wasn't supposed to see and hear in a voice that was all his own. Simply put, John was an exceptional writer. He was intimidatingly talented to me. And, he was responsible for, to me, what I consider the greatest line in the history of music criticism. And I quote, "The singer sounded like the Cookie Monster after learning that the Keebler Elves had just been murdered." That was Valania writing about the band Disturbed.
I felt he used the word plaintive too much. He used plaintive a lot.
Yeah, you're probably right. Same with chiming guitars.
And Big Star-esque.
Big Star-esque, yeah.
Big Star-esque was a big word of his.
John was a fixture on so many guest lists around town that doormen actually thought his full name was Jonathan Valania +7. It's true. It's true.
And John is one of my few.
True.
It is true.
It's true.
And John is one of my few friends where we could talk about Wilco, Dylan, The Asteroid, Number Four's Bizarre, Scarface, if you even remember that. Charlie Manson, David Lynch, Scorsese, proper rectal hygiene, and Wilco, all in the same sentence.
That's a long sentence.
Oh, you said that before.
John was such an accomplished writer that a lot of people forget about his musical career. As a couple people have referenced already, the Cyclone Rangers were signed to a subsidiary of Capitol Records, and that's not small potatoes. Capitol Records, the Beatles, the Beastie Boys, the Beach Boys,
Frank Sinatra.
April Wine, Capitol
Wine.
Records.
Uh-huh.
Then John went on to join the Pearly Gates, whom many called Philadelphia's very own ELO. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. That's DLO, is in dreaded local opener for up-and-coming bands like the Soft Boys and Pere Ubu. Yeah, and I know they opened for the White Stripes, too. Valania never let me forget about that.
One time at a Guided by Voices show.
One time,
we were knocking back drinks, rocking out, and something happened. GBV started playing Teenage FBI. He drained his glass, ran on stage, and started singing with the band. Rob Pollard just glared at him. Or is it Pollard?
Is it Pollard?
It's Pollard.
Is it Pollard?
It's Pollard.
If only there were, like, dudes over 50 here who could help us sort this out. Is it Pollard or Pollard? Are there any men over 50 here?
Is that crowd work?
Crowd work.
That's pretty good, man.
I Googled crowd work earlier, and that's what...
He was my teammate for Pop Quiz with Bethany Klein and Butch Sweaters.
Where my Pop Quiz people at?
Where those Pop Quiz people? Yeah. I thought I had a team of ringers. I had the editors of Magnet, Eric and Matt, Amy Miller, John Valania, and myself. We could not lose. But
You lost.
We were the worst team. And I'll never forgive him for shouting over me the answer that Sharon and Jeremy sang, "A War Without Love." It was obviously Peter and fucking Gordon. Jesus Christ. Thank you.
Wait for laugh.
I'm waiting. Okay.
John wasn't just an enormously talented writer and a musician. He was also a really good friend. For instance, he agreed without condition to host my bachelor party in his apartment. Imagine the responsibilities of hosting a bachelor party. John had to procure stag films, towels, martini glasses shaped like sperm, his line, crushed ice, smelling salts, bleach, whistles, and a foot-long hoagie. Now, the details aren't important, but I ended up getting stripped naked in Valania's apartment that night. So, Joanne, that's 3 things you and I have in common. We're both writers. We both live in South Philly. John saw us both naked. I'm sorry. That was his line.
You're a big slice of country ham, aren't you? Go ahead, tell some fun facts.
Oh, yeah. So, we all know John well. Maybe you don't know everything about John, so we got some fun facts about John that you may or may not know. These are fun facts. They're facts, and they're fun. Jonathan preferred, we would talk about this all the time. We loved Mr. Show. We loved SCTV. We loved sketch comedy. When it came down to it, Valania preferred Mad TV to Saturday Night Live. I don't know if you know that.
His safe word was Malkmus. He preferred Mike Love to Brian Wilson, and he thought Frank Black's solo records were better than any Pixies album.
Well, that's a fact. That's absolutely a fact. Valania, as we all know, is from Allentown, so he spent a lot of time at Dorney Park growing up. Where my Dorney Park people at? Yeah, there we go. His favorite ride? Anybody? The Glory Hole Adventure. True. Also, this is weird, Valania preferred Ringo's All-Star Band to the Beatles.
Well, so do I. He was talked out of originally calling Fokker the Fuffington Post.
And he thought the Grateful Dead was at its best with John Mayer.
And you always knew it was Memorial Day when he wore his capri pants. He did have the legs for it, though.
I always thought he wore those because he lost a bet.
I don't know. But he also helped my son. He also helped teach my son to write. My son Charlie, who's here, probably reading it back.
I bought Charlie a root beer earlier. I didn't know what to do with a 17-year-old, so I bought him a root beer.
Yeah, root beer and a pat on the head.
Birch beer.
Yo, this guy has a Penthouse magazine on his coffee table. Jesus.
First of all, it was on a side table. Second of all, it's from 1974.
A vintage Penthouse magazine. My son Charlie, anyway, at age 10, he could write effortlessly about anything, and John put him out to work for Farker. John had him review shows like Weird Al. He covered the Philadelphia Flowers Show. He interviewed Mayor Kenny. And maybe he was a bit too young to attend the King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard show. In my defense, I thought it was originally a band on Nickelodeon.
Okay. Man, I'm so glad we didn't have to follow Steve Volk.
Jesus.
Because I was crying my eyes out earlier. In all seriousness, and I really, really do mean this, Jonathan had all the talent in the world, but above all else, he was a tremendous friend. I remember John instigating long conversations after my father died and doing whatever he could to drag me out of the house. What do you mean you don't want to be my +1 for Incubus? Come on, you got to get out. And I didn't see John nearly enough over the last 10 years, but every time we talked, it was as if no time had passed at all. We picked right back up talking about what we were talking about, laughing our asses off. And although I didn't see John, I always knew John was well. I was reading his work. He was just getting better. He was getting better, always finding deeper new things to write about, just putting the work in. I always knew he was great. He had Joanne in his life. I never worried about John for a second. I always knew he was there. I would see him. Everything would be great. I can't believe that he's not here. John was just one of those dudes you figured would be around forever doing amazing work. And I think about losing John, and I think about, like, let's just all enjoy what we have while we have it, and let's never pass up an opportunity to let the people in your life know how much you love and appreciate them. John, I miss you. I love you. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure your Mojo subscription gets forwarded to wherever you are.
Philadelphia just got a little less cool. It's awful to say this, but I always had a selfish thought that he would have written my obituary because he would have done a much better job of it than any of us could have. I'm sure going to miss him, and I'll never forget him. And take care of yourselves and always run towards love. Thank you.
Thank you.